Hello, everybody. Hi,
Hey,
welcome. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Especially the three of you, because I can see you, so I can, or the two of you, so I can confirm that we have at least two guests for this. Uh,
yes,
Welcome, everybody. This is the very first episode of Art First. It is a show that Bryan and I kind of cooked up. It's a work in progress, but the goal is pretty simple. We want to spotlight artists that we know and some that we're getting to know, and also we want to help uplift other people in the community because there's so much good art that we feel it's really important to be able to share that with everybody. And so we want to do that with our friends and have some fun. And yeah, hopefully get some attention on some more people. So my name's Adam, and that's Bryan. And
hey
today our
everybody.
first guest is Mumbot. But Bryan, want to take it?
Sure. Yeah, no, this is a fun experiment. We don't really know what we're doing, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun just to talk about art and share cool things we enjoy. And yeah, I'm super excited to have Mumbot here. Hey, Mumbot.
Hey guys. Hi Brian. Hi Adam. Thank you so
Hi,
much for
thank you.
having me.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for being a willing participant in our experiment. We
Cool.
are just figuring all this stuff out as we go, but it's sort of one of those things where if it's not perfect and you just wait until it's perfect, it'll never happen. So we've been sitting on this idea for like a year, so here we are. Yeah, so I think the one of the fun things about the space is getting to know other artists, and more so than any other space that I've ever been in. I've been in other art groups over the years, and I know this is kind of like a thing that I've heard other people say, which is it's a great community, and that's what it really started out as for us, for a lot of us as artists in this community. And from there, we've been able to really make really fun connections with ridiculously talented people like yourself. And so this is one of those times where it's like one of the things that Bryan and I have talked about is something that we really enjoy is learning other people's thought processes behind the art that they make. So yeah, one of the things we'd love to do with you is kind of break down one of your pieces and figure out the why behind what you made.
Awesome. Uh right now or
Yeah, we could talk.
Yeah, we can
okay.
just chit
We can
chat,
talk
right? Like
about our,
Yeah.
our history. I think, I've known your work for a long time.
Oh cool.
I think you pointed out we met originally via this like college Zoom class talk we
Yeah.
gave,
Yeah.
which was a very strange thing where it's like a bunch of students came on and listened to us talk about NFTs and art, and
Yep.
most of them were just like, "What?" Um, but no, that was when I first like kind of got more insight into the deeper Mumbot versus just the art I'd seen around. But I've seen your art so many places, whether it's like everywhere from the internet to the mall. I feel like it's everywhere you go, it's all over, and it's very recognizable and very like you can point it out from a mile away. And then since that point, I've gotten to see you put together amazing in real life events too, whether it was things at NFTLA or doing giveaways at VCon where you're just throwing out art to all these people, and then getting to see you build Ghost Club, which is an incredible community of artists and illustrators in this space. That I think is one of the strongest like collectives in the whole space. So I mean, you're doing a
Oh.
million things, so it's awesome to get to chat with you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. What a cool intro. First of all, I respect you so much, both of you, and I'm so honored to be your first guest. So let me just get that out of the way. Um, when we first met, I mean, I was pretty excited when I saw that you were going to be on there because I've just really respected how you operated in space. You're also like, in my eyes, like an OG, you know what I mean? And you've always been trying to do something that pushes the boundaries. It feels to me that way. Like you're one of those artists who's like not only as a person and how you operate, but also as an artist. Like I really appreciated that you're always trying to come up with something new. You really care about innovation, and you really also overall like care in a macro sense of like how can we make this space better and push the space forward. And then also one of my passions, as you mentioned with Ghost Club, is literally just like how to empower artists and make them, bring them along with us with through this movement, I guess you would call it.
Well, thank you. The term OG always makes me cringe because,
Oh,
I understand it, but at the same time, when I joined the space, I felt like the newcomer, and like there was Coldy and XCopy and Sarah Zucker and Ollie and
true.
Josie, people that had been doing it for like 3 or 4 years before me. But there's a lot of people that say like, if you live in New York for 10 years, you're a New Yorker. I feel like if you're in the crypto space for 1 year, you're an OG. I feel like there's like a threshold there. And so there's always going to be a new wave of people that look at the people that came before as OG. So I appreciate the compliment, but it makes me, I've always been that mindset of like, I'm not the true OG. I'm just, I've been around for a while now. But over
Yeah,
time, I guess it just becomes true.
It's fair. It's a
I
fair
think
take.
though, to your point of like people become the OGs or whatnot. There's always a new class. I think that is, and I've said this like 100 times in different places, but I'll never get tired of it. Like you brought me into the space, Bryan, and by bringing me into the space the way you did, that's sort of been the way that I've moved in the space, which is watching by your example of like bring people in, help people out, get them started, introduce them to people. Like literally when I showed up on Twitter with 0 followers, you were like, hey guys, this is Adam. He's pretty cool and he does, some art. And like Coldy was like, oh, hey, cool. I'll check you out. And so it just sort of it's one of those things that I really appreciate, that I feel like you do really well, and it's spread through the community. And then to see what Mumbot did with Ghost Club was incredible. Like I was aware of Ghost Club, and then when I got into it, I was blown away, right? And like that Discord is full of just incredibly kind, like-minded people, right? And to have that like a microcosm of a small, like inside of a microcosm, right? But it feels really good, like a family. So yeah, I think it's wonderful what you both do, honestly, for the space.
Thanks, Adam. That's
And
awesome.
speaking of that, you have as you keep pushing forward with giving opportunities to artists, Ghost Club has a drop today, right? With
Yes, yes, yes. Also, that means a lot to me that you point out like the kind of the culture that we're trying to promote and support. And then again, then no community is perfect, and we're always just striving for that. But and at the same time, that's a total team effort. It takes a village, right? So there's that. But yeah, I'm so excited. We have a drop today. It's one of ones with it's Ghost Club times infinite objects. So
nice.
it will be a video print. I don't know if you've seen their cool. I'm sure you have. I know you have.
Yep.
I got some sitting behind me right
Oh,
here, and I
I
think
see them.
I got some bags right here of them.
Nice.
I'm
I
a
got one
fan of infinite
upstairs.
objects.
Yep.
Awesome. They're beautiful. And we had the pleasure of going also to their headquarters the other day and just kind of testing everything out and doing some, promo images and videos
Oh
for
yeah,
the drop.
I
But
saw
yeah,
that
we
picture
have
of you with the giant
oh,
square one, right?
the
Those are huge.
jumbo.
Those
The
are so
jumbo.
cool. The
Oh
square
my
ones are
gosh.
so
And
cool.
that's hard to find. It's hard to find a square screen. So, and they were also telling me how hard that was. But it's funny because there's a lot of artists who have square format, right? Um,
Yeah.
but speaking of square format, one of the artists in the drop is Pop Wonder. Pop
Nice.
Wonder for a long time I think only did square format, and
Yeah.
in this drop it's not a square, so that's
Oh,
kind of wild.
Ooh.
Yeah.
One of my
Um.
favorite pop wonders, he did a nifty drop where it was like, I think it was a grid of 9, and they were like puzzle
mm.
pieces that connected to each other. That was a
Yep.
really cool one.
That's like a throwback, kind of like the old Garbage Pail Kid trading
Oh
card.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
chipboard. Yep. Um, I love that piece. I know exactly what you're talking about. Also, we have Dalek in the mix, and Dalek is like somebody I grew up looking up to as an artist, and I'm very grateful that I can call him a friend now and a peer in this space. But like, yeah, we used to, drool over his work as,
Yeah. And talk
are
about
you
someone
friends?
who's also pushing all these different directions in the space and trying out
Mm,
like games and
yep.
generative and all these other things. He's definitely dabbling all over.
Yeah. And he's like one of my favorite uh people who came with like a very established, he was an established artist who came in and was just not afraid to just dive in and experiment and get his hands dirty, in the sense of like, well, I'm just going to try this, and however this, if I mess up, if I don't, you know what I mean? Like, he just really got in the mix, and he was willing to learn and try to do the things that we have all learned how to do. I mean, and you guys even have learned some things I haven't learned yet. So, you know what I mean? To be fair, like, I'm just starting to dabble and dip my toes in like generative code, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's infinitely difficult. But I feel like where you have so much experience in the physical realm that I think me and Adam has a little bit of physical experience in the past as well, but like you've been doing stuff on like manufacturing levels that I've never even considered. And so like I look at you as a top tier person in terms of like kind of building out a brand in that world.
Oh, thank you so much.
I second that. With those dolls, like the plush dolls that the Hot Topic stuff, like all of that stuff is very aspirational. It's sort of like one of those things where you're like, how did you even figure that out?
Can I show something real quick?
Yeah,
please.
I happen to have it right here. This is a vinyl figure that it's not out yet. What, will it work? Oh, you get to see.
There it goes. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's actually in package.
Cool.
I like the skull shape box too.
Good.
Thanks. This is just like prototype box, but yeah, I could pull it out probably, but maybe later. It's show and tell. So
it's show and tell later.
You said that's vinyl?
That is a vinyl toy. Cool. That's supposed to be out any day now. We have a few colorways that we've been working on. Just before you release, you have to plan other colorways up until, you know what I mean, like up to a certain point.
Yeah.
So that you have that momentum once it's out. So
interesting. See, this is the stuff I didn't know. Is that going to go straight to a store? Are you doing that through a website, or how's that work?
So I'm sure we haven't really fully locked in that plan, but we already have a few stores who basically they'll pick up a colorway, so I'll do an exclusive with, just an example, let's say it's Clutter's the release one, so that'll be my classic OG colorway that I just kind of gave a sneak peek of, and then there will be this black and white colorway, and that one might this is not actually a thing. I'm making this up.
not
alpha.
But yeah, this is just fake. Let's say my buddy who runs Strange Cat Toys might pick up the black and white one, and that'll be the Strange Cat exclusive. And then, and so on. So like Tenacious Toys, they have their own shop, and they'll do their own release of like a batch of a completely different colorway.
Interesting.
So yeah,
cool.
I wonder if anybody's done that in the NFT space, where you're like, I'm going to do a colorway over on Nifty, and then another colorway over on Maker's Place, and then another colorway over on like Manifold or something.
Dude, I don't think anyone, I don't know, but like that's out there now.
Right?
Or
on-chain exclusives.
Oh, like an ETH, a Solana.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's
Bitcoin,
true.
The Bitcoin version.
Yes. Yeah.
These are great ideas.
Yeah, this is fun.
I love that.
Why don't we talk more? Because I could go on and on with these kind of things. I have so
All right,
many.
so this is going to be the show every week with just Mumbot. I'm fine with that.
Brainstorm sesh episodes.
Go on, Adam.
You're going to do what I was going to do?
I wanted to get into process. So like we talked about your release structure. I want to hear more about like how you concept, like how do you start? You have the sketches behind you. Does it always start with a sketch? Do you start with a output destination in mind, or do you just sketch and that you figured out as you go?
It's a really good question. I've actually had, like, historically I would start with a pretty standard process. I would go with like, my blue pencil sketch into something a little more elaborate, and I'd build that out, and then I'd go into so for this one, for example, like this piece is called Past Life, Future Death. This is probably one of the most fun pieces to talk about because of the process behind what went into making this. I developed this character like 15 years ago, around some thereabouts. A Ghostis has, you know, existed in many, many forms, but this is actually the 3D scan of the hand sculpted version. And the hand sculpted version originally was, you know, what I just mentioned from that original process that I would just do in 2D, like analog style. So for this piece specifically, I wanted to bring it into Nomad Sculpt, which I'm still learning. I've
Yeah,
just
yeah.
been
I don't know it. I have it
Uh,
on the iPad. I want to.
yeah.
I push and I pull, and it looks like garbage.
Exactly
yeah.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I had a little help and tips from friends, you know. My buddy Cyrus, who was my Genesis NFT collaboration buddy, he actually helped walk me through some things on how to do this in Nomad. And basically then I took it and I wanted to go back into like my history in 2D animation. I actually went to school for 2D animation at School of Visual Arts, and I don't really utilize my 2D animation very much, but I wanted to. I wanted to like, how many mediums can I mix into this piece? So then I brought it into Procreate, and I decided to just like frame by frame it, just do some animation on top of this. And then from there, when I was you know, executing the actual like drop portion, I thought, how cool would it be if if it comes with utility, and the utility is that it's bundled with a physical, and the physical, here I'll show, is like this resin figure.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
and
really cool.
actually, I don't know if you can see, it's got my logo engraved in the bottom too.
Nice.
So what I did was I said, you know, the winner will get to sit with me in a one-on-one, like, you know, Discord or however they want to do it. Could be Zoom or whatever, and they'll help me customize it. So they're getting to have say in some of the art direction of how I customize the piece, and then I'll customize it in a live setting with them. So
Wow.
like, so I had to obviously prepare some examples and then kind of give them some multiple choice, that just to kind of like make sure that it will look good at the end and be something they would actually like. So I gave examples of different finishes and different colorways, and some of the styles that I actually can do, you know, not like you know, so they had really good examples to work with. And then we still came up with something completely new that I hadn't done before. So that was really fun.
So that's a one of one physical that went out to the collector of
Yeah.
this.
Yep. And so, and it goes
That's
even
brilliant.
farther. So besides that part, so including the collector in the process was like part of the utility, and plus the physical was part of the utility. So that was all, to me, part of the utility. And this is what I mean by the potential of this technology and the layers that, like, when I feel like I'm talking to people who just like really aren't plugged in to this space and don't understand the potential, I do like to reference this piece a lot. Then to go further with it, I've found that, you know, being able to continue to use this like in shows, like I put it in the Times Square exhibition, I put it in where it was like on a truck, and it was like, do you know Vismesh? Was it Vismesh? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
is
them,
that's
right?
kind of like what Schiller does with their van, where they drive around and
Yeah,
have it?
and the year before they did the Times Square like billboards,
Yeah.
but this
Yep.
last one they took a truck and they stopped at like the Guggenheim and the MoMA, and they like went around,
That's
and it
awesome.
was really cool. So I used this piece for that, and then also was able to use it in my solo show in March, where for the first time ever, I really wanted to have a section just featuring my digital artwork. So I had um prints of the digital artwork, because it was logistically difficult to try to get screens. So what I wanted to do is like, well, how do I feature an animated digital piece here in this show? And I worked with Art House AR to get this canvas print to have the AR activated element, and that was my very first AR activated digital art print in a solo show, which, you know, it just like was so cool because in Web3, we're like so spoiled. We see so much cool stuff.
Yeah.
But in the
Yeah.
toy space, people lost their minds. Like people were like
Yeah.
blown
cool.
away.
That's
This is
awesome.
so exciting. Like this lady from Time Out Chicago came to the show. She's like, she's known them for over a decade, I guess, and like has never come to a show. She came to the show. I saw her checking the AR. Like it was just really awesome.
There
The
is
impact.
something I've noticed about that. Like, yeah, like you mentioned, we're very spoiled and we're like, oh, whatever, we've seen AR a million times. But there is like a magic moment when people see this AR stuff where they're like, whoa, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it's very effective. And I think we take it for granted because we've seen it so many times but the vast majority of people have not seen that happen. And so like the piece I have here, that has an AR functionality, and I showed that at my gallery show and everyone was just like, whoa, I had no idea. I think this would also make, you mentioned AR, this would make a great 3D model for AR as well, or like a GLB that you could put in like a metaverse gallery.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
Sculpture.
idea.
Yeah.
I've also released this this piece as a trading card, part of the Creatives trading card project, and it's the ultra rare like lenticular card. So it's already it's already got like an animated effect. But now in addition to that, if you catch it at the right angle, the AR should work also on the lenticular card.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a question. You were
Sure.
talking about you went to SBA for animation.
Yeah.
Was your thesis film in this style, or was it?
Ooh.
Were you in a
That's a great
totally
question.
different artistic style back then?
You know, actually, my background kind of reminds me a little more of the vibe of like what I did in SVA. I was also, as a student, I was also very experimental. Like I was trying to do fully rendered graphite animation, which I did.
Oh,
I
wow.
did some. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
was doing some stuff with mark making, like taking rubber stamps and utilizing different rubber stamps and ink pad and just repetition to try to
Like playing with loops. That's
Yep.
cool.
This
Love that.
this piece right here just reminds me of like scratch film animation, right? When you
Yeah.
literally
cool.
are scratching on film to do
Yeah.
animation. If you've done any of that, the three of us have backgrounds in animation.
Nice.
So it's no, that's what I'm looking at this and I'm just seeing like frames. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's really cool. It makes me want to pause it and read the things. But if I'm looking at it, I can assume that it's on ones, or is it on twos?
I think I did it on the ones.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
pretty
little
quick.
bit of a
It's very
stutter.
quick. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I dig it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's cool to see the reaction of a viewer who, like some of the viewers who've stopped to look at it and hear what they catch from it. What do did a lot of the words really resonate with people?
I watched it a bunch last night in prep for this and I saw like keep focus. Eventually I did pause it so I could take a screenshot for a thread, but it was but there's something special about like seeing a piece like this, let's say, you know, on an infinite object or on on a screen in a loop. There's something kind of really pure about not being able to pause it, like in terms of the way it was intended, right? Like you didn't intend
Yeah.
for someone to pause this. Just the same way, you know, it's just sort of like the medium lends itself to that sort of potential misinterpretation. Like you have to assume people might do that, but I kind of like that this was the intent. These sort of like hidden frames, hidden meaning, pop frames, you know, get a glimpse and just kind of like put that in the back of your head as to what the intention is. So I really
Dude, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I don't know, there's been like a time frame where I felt like utilizing words in art, like I'm not sure that, like with brand collaborations, you have to be really careful what words you use or what kind of messaging is in there. You know what I mean? You have to be really mindful of that. And then with, like, I've always loved incorporating words into the art, so I have found that to be a little bit tricky sometimes, but anyway, yeah, I like what you just said because
yeah, but
it's
I
like
mean I get
flashing.
that. I get that. There's a push and pull. I think I tend to stray away from words. But then I see someone who does words and I'm like, oh, that does look nice. You know, or when someone has like a nice, you know, nice handwriting or nice type, you know, or
I
figures
like to
that
hide
out.
words. I like hide it in my neon stuff. But for the most part, it goes back to our background in animation, where it was encouraged that you made films that were all audio, like sounds, and
Yes,
Yeah.
not dialogue.
just to be more universal.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so that you could go submit it to a German film festival or something.
That's 100%.
Totally.
I think of readability. I think of universality. I think of all those things. We're ingrained in going to animation school. It's so funny, and it's interesting. I also hide messages. Like I'll write stuff and intentionally cross them out and scribble really hard. But I'm writing. I know what I've written, but it's sort of like there's more to talk about. Like with my therapist there, I'm sure.
But there's something. So just as a side note, though, there's something that's kind of funny. It's like I read a lot of comics and stuff, and I've always been into comics. But like sometimes you'll be reading like or you not even just a comic, or you see it in streetwear, for example. Like when I was living in Asia, and there's like a random word that's not like it's not a Thai writing, it's in English, or or it's in Japanese, and so it's like there is something about having words as an a design element or as an aesthetic, and I'm 100% interested in like being more universal as well, like for sure. But also I don't want to be like not doing it because for whatever reason.
I think it's going to change very quickly too, where I mean it'll be hard for it to do it with this, for example, but I think the internet in general will have this AI overlay that auto translates everything for us. So if anything's in another language, it'll appear in whatever your native language is. And I think that kind of barrier will go away very soon.
I agree with that. I think that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, you know what? I think what we've just seen is some good stuff.
Oh, we got the good stuff logo.
We got the good stuff. We got some good stuff here today, guys.
Nice.
I think this would be a good time. If you guys are down, I would love to throw this over. Oh, it decided Bryan is the most important, which I'm not going to argue.
There we go.
I mean,
Bryan's pretty important.
So but this is something that we've talked about for a minute. This sort of like show and tell section where we've all kind of been collecting things from artists that we'd love to give a little bit bigger of a spotlight for. Let's give it a go. Let me see what I can pull up here.
I'm a real believer that this whole space is built on the us returning to our childhood show and tell, where we go, look what I collected, and you bring it to class and you show everybody.
Love show and tell.
Well, I think there's a big part of that is just the internet in general, right? Like that's what
you want to flex
love to do. Yep. So I've got this piece, and we'll see if this works. Let's give it a shot. Oh, it's loud.
Oh, well, I wonder if you can mute that. Let's see.
I can mute.
Well, I don't hear
it
yet, so we'll see.
Okay, so here, let's see what happens.
Right, is this your show and tell first?
Nope, this is going to be a Mumbot show and tell.
All right, let's see it.
Oh, cool.
There we go.
Awesome.
Sorry that it starts in the middle there, but yeah, it'll loop. It's very cool. Why don't you tell us just what are we looking at here?
This is a piece by Gillen. Gillen is like one of my favorite animators in the space. He did a series of open editions during the OE season. I did hand quotes. And the most recent OE season. And he was also in Beeple's show a couple months ago, the one in his new space.
Sure.
And I guess I wish I knew more about exactly what the story is about this, but
it seems like it's a whole video game built on the world of random Beeple everydays.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's definitely like a fight against.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful loop.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so fluid. And this is like, I guess, I don't remember if it was part, like you could get this if you held all of the other open editions, something like that. But this is like a sort of a special standalone. It's not necessarily connected to the open editions that he released before in terms of the story. But also Gillen is going to be in our Ghost Club drop with Infinite Objects.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
Pretty excited.
This is incredible. I mean,
it really is.
You can see how much work went into it. I mean, these scenes are insane.
Mm-hmm.
So much detail. and so much like quick.
That quick moment of turning the night to day reminds me of kind of like a DK piece almost.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
This is
he
great.
normally does a lot of stuff at that isometric angle, like,
Yeah.
Okay.
and this one is a little different from the previous one.
This is like a side scroller.
Yeah, side
Yeah.
scroller.
I love the rotating camera to follow the action of the
Yeah.
entire scene.
Yeah.
No, this is really well done.
Good
Yeah.
choice. Good choice.
Yeah, so I'll pull something else up, but just for folks following along at home, I'm going to be posting a Twitter thread with all the links to all the art from today's show, so we'll have a chance to check that out. Let's go on. What do we got here? Let's go there. See if this works. Come on.
I'm going to
Internet.
close some tabs. Oh, okay. This one's mine.
Ooh.
This is Michelle Thompson, and it has a subtle animation to the circle, but I found Michelle's work via Patrick Amadon's 404 collection recently, and I just fell in love with her collection of work because it has this kind of retro German industrial feel, almost like propaganda art.
That's
But she
beautiful.
uses these very stark colors. And so I picked up this piece, which I really like. And so, yeah, I'm just, it's always fun to fall down a rabbit hole and you're like, oh, I like this. And then you look at the rest of the artist's work, you're like, I like that too. I like this too. I like everything they're doing. And so I just thought that was so cool. I don't know if you can like click on the full collection.
I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna try to get.
We're pushing Adam's
here.
internet to the max.
We really are. This is like well, my dial-up modem is kind of struggling today.
But yeah, I just love his use of colors are so striking.
Oh yeah,
and a very clear voice too.
Yeah,
visually speaking.
There you go, some crossed out words with text there, just like you were talking about, Adam.
I'm a fan. I love
Yeah.
I love the piece that you shared. All right, let's see. This one here is one that I collected.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Make it
so
big.
I
want to see the details.
I will.
Yeah, I like
so
that.
this is Alex Usto. I apologize if I get his name wrong, pronunciation,
wow.
but it is gorgeous. It's all generative code. And it just, he has a collection and it's sort of like ongoing right now. And it just struck me so hard when I saw this. And honestly, I got giddy. Being a big fan of yellow and purples and all those colors, the yellow hit me hard. But when I looked at this, I kind of was like, I got that feeling of like, wait, does nobody see this? Did I get here early? Like, does no one know this? That's how excited I was about this this piece, and still feel that way. And they're all generative pieces, and I'm starting to go down the rabbit hole of P5JS, and I'm so intrigued by it. But
Yeah.
and mad respect because I've made poo so far.
Me too.
For someone who's
This
making
would- yeah.
beautiful art with it.
This would
Yeah.
look great on like a plotter print too. The one
It
thing that
would.
really strikes me, and it's subtle and probably not important at all, but there's a red dot on the right side, and you see all these perfect circles. But then you start to realize that some of these circles are like oblong
or
and
not
weird.
perfect.
And I love that. That like the moment I saw that just like made me like the piece twice as much. And it's such a
Right?
small detail, but it goes a long way to like having that irregularity to it.
Because
Totally.
it's not perfect, and yet, yeah, no, I'm on the same page. So this is probability number 8.
Wow.
Just gorgeous. So let's keep
It's
going
a good
here.
one.
Speaking of generative art, let's go here.
Oh, this is one of mine. So this is a piece I picked up recently via Ensemble, which is a wonderful platform that sells ephemera from artists, which essentially is sketchy, like sketchbook type art. And this is Generative Artworks, which is a wonderful duo that make awesome work. And so the story behind this was they did everyday generative art and plotters on Instagram for many, many years. And so they minted and sold this, which was like the beginning of their journey. And they've since, done releases on art blocks and all this other stuff. And then, they gave me a print of it, and the print is like hilariously small. It's like maybe like that big. But I just, it's one of those pieces that tells the story because it's the beginning of this like duo's journey. And so I just found that to be like a really fun piece to collect. And I'm a big fan of them. They were very kind, and years ago they made a drop called Democracy on art blocks, and one of the color palette traits on it is a Brian Brinkman color trait. So I appreciate
Nice.
that.
That's cool.
I feel like you maybe hold the record right now, sir, for most generative art related traits, like the most traded artist. I mean, from big to small,
Traded.
like you're
Yeah.
quite a trader.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, this is one of those things where there's just so much crazy detail in it. But yeah, no, just shout out to Generative Artworks. I think they're doing awesome stuff. I recently got a shirt. I should have been wearing it now. They did a 1 of 1 of X shirt where you could generate a design and then they printed it bespoke onto the shirt and shipped it to you. So every shirt was completely unique.
Yeah.
What's the of X?
What
do you know what the collection?
I think that one was maybe like 30 shirts or something. It was a really small run, but they're playing around with this like printing on fabric on demand type stuff, and I appreciate them like pushing in these directions for generative fashion.
That's really cool. I get really protective though of like of clothing that I don't like, memorabilia style stuff like that. Like, so like generative art on my shirt sounds cool, but when I know it's a 1 of 30, I'm like, damn, I'm not sure if I'm gonna wear this, right? Like,
yeah, you guys were at my gallery show in New York. The shirt I was wearing there, that was the shirt.
That was a cool shirt.
It was like a bunch of balls on it.
Yeah,
no, it was very.
I liked that shirt. Oh, that's where I heard it. Okay, because I was like, why does this sound familiar? That was why, because I asked you about your shirt. The 90cc activation.
That's what I was just thinking about.
With G Monk, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that also? Was it G?
It was G Money.
G Money.
Sorry, G Money. Yeah. He was doing. Yeah, sorry. He did like a print on demand, and you could like you could mint it. Also
at Basel last year, right? Last year
at the Gateway.
Yeah.
And then
that was really cool.
And he also they did the hats, right? So
and they had the hats are all. The hats have the tech, but they weren't.
They have the tech.
1 of 1.
Yeah, there wasn't 1 of 1. And what was cool too about that activation was that like you could watch them doing it. They had like a room with glass, you could watch them doing it.
It felt like it was like that, like a scientist from Independence Day, where it was like behind glass and they had all this crazy tech.
Yeah, totally. I was thinking Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's very sci-fi.
Different, amazing sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Let's check this one out.
Ooh, awesome. Got 8-bit.
Yeah, this is Jam. He's an artist from Ghost Club. One of his specialties is pixel animation, and he's actually taught some workshops at Ghost Club on pixel animation, and he teaches them on his own as well. And this was for our Ghost Club times Tez vending machines recently. I think it was 2-3 weeks ago.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we did like a blind box style drop, and you could buy one or you could get like a 3-pack, and this was one of the pieces in that.
Oh, this was in the vending machine?
Yep.
Cool. I got a wooden Cyclops out of the vending machine when I did it.
That's a good one. Yeah. I want to complete my set. Actually, anybody who has a full complete set, we recently announced that you'll get a special edition. I'm going to make a special edition for anyone.
Ooh, that's alpha.
Selected.
I guess it's announced, but alpha.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That was a really cool site. Did the Ghost Club build it, or did Object build that?
Well, they build the tech and everything behind it. They gave us the template, and then we created the custom version. And it's the artwork is by Arya Mularama, aka Go. What is his handle? Go. It's Arya Mularama is his name.
Okay.
He's an Indonesian artist. He's amazing. He's awesome. Are you a fan of him at all? Because is
it Gogo Porin? No.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's a badass. He's such a badass, that dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's so fast, and he has like cool color palettes. I just love his art. But yeah, he did. He designed our whole aesthetic for that.
It looked great.
All right, let's see what else we got. This is so much fun, by the way. Like I know I've seen. Have you seen? You guys haven't seen all the pieces, so let's see.
I'm having fun. Ooh.
All right, so this is goes by Himalayan. This is Fat Lizard Belly, and I collected this one not too long ago. And they are all physicals that were scanned, and then when you collected it, she mailed them to you. And they came as like postcards. I can't seem to make it bigger.
Try pressing that little arrow in the top right of the image.
This guy,
Yeah,
pop out.
that puts it in a new tab. There you go.
Yeah, there we are. Look at this alpha. Okay, perfect.
Oh, then we can zoom.
Then we could really get into the art, but it's gorgeous.
I've never known you can do that this whole time.
No, me neither. This is 3 years later. But it is gorgeous, and it came as a physical postcard, which the only hiccup there, and I guess it's part of the charm now, is I was very excited to get the physical postcard, and it was literally mailed as a postcard. So it has now like stamp lines. It's got markings from the post office here. It's really interesting. One of those.
It kind of ties into the line of the piece. That has kind of a postage stamp wavy line thing going on.
It definitely works, yeah. But it's gorgeous. And I think I think you collected one of her pieces recently, Brian, from she did the faces. I really love the faces that she was doing that series.
Yeah.
Which I would show now if I was able to.
That was also one I picked up, I think, from the 404 collection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was in 404. Gorgeous work.
Wow, it's nice to see them all.
And they're all physicals. And they're, she does these small run editions of pieces like this, but everything she's doing is physicals. And it's just, as someone who's a big fan of texture in art, I fell in love with this stuff pretty easily. Let's see.
Great.
We got this is Everywhere I Grow. I'm gonna do the Brinkman special. It didn't get as big as I hoped.
It doesn't work.
Try doing Control Plus on it.
Oh man, look at you. Control Plusing here. There we go. Come for the art, stay for the tech alphas.
The tech secrets.
So Brian, you want to tell us? Oh no, this is Mumbot.
This is Mumbot.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this piece. This artist, so I just like a lot of their work. I think she's from Brazil. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But
okay.
The piece itself is an interactive piece. So actually, everybody who collected this, she put us all in a group, and she's going to be printing out the animation frame by frame.
Oh,
and
wow.
Everyone she's going to mail everyone a sticker. She had everyone fill out a form, and everyone's going to get a sticker with a different frame. And then we're going to stick that sticker somewhere and take a picture of it and send that back to her. And then she's going to make an animated GIF of this, but in that form. I know! It's so epic.
She's going to reanimate the piece. With your piece.
With all of our pieces.
Come on.
Collaboration.
Come on. That's so good. I love that.
So good. Yeah.
That's so good.
That's awesome. I just love the animation on this.
Yeah.
I love like rotoscope type stuff. I mean, this feels a little rotoscopy.
Yeah.
And I just love like everything's kind of living in it. It reminds me, I'm a big fan of like Dustin Yellen, who creates these bodies out of like cut out pieces and stuff. And so it has that kind of vibe. But even like the little rainbow going through the little Zelda hearts in the corner, it's like little touches are wonderful.
Yeah. You could tell they have fun in, I don't know, maybe After Effects or something. Like there's some there's some pretty cool stuff going on here.
But definitely, I mean, that head's definitely frame by frame drawn.
I mean, I honestly, I think all of it is like this. These little legs, and even if it's rotoscope, it looks like it's frame by frame rotoscope.
At the first glance, I thought maybe it was Pop Wonder, because that head has kind of a Pop Wonder character vibe.
It does.
I like it.
Yeah. I also like that she seems to use a lot of nature elements, which is, super big for me. Like, I just found it very inspiring. I found this artist to be super inspiring. So yeah, just a little gem.
This is me not knowing which tab is which, trying to pick the next one. I know I was trying to go for another Bryan. So we do 2 years or 3 years?
I've done 2 already.
Collapse with
Have you
light.
done all 3 of yours yet?
I have not done all 3 of mine yet. No. Let's do this one. This one's you.
Oh, this one is me. Wait, have I? Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. So this is one I picked up recently. This artist,
Gorgeous.
Louie Daisy, who I believe is French, has a photography background, and he creates these really beautiful. I don't know why this one's not in motion.
We're just gonna go
Maybe,
and try it right here.
yeah, there you go. Where he creates these kind of like noir movie posters.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm just kind of enamored by his style. It has such a cool feel to it. It reminds me of, I don't know, it's so
It's
cinematic.
cool. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say it's super cinematic. I love this.
And it's
It
like
is.
subtle glows, and then having that motion at the bottom. If you go look at his other stuff, they all have this really awesome kind of 80s thriller movie poster feel to them.
Mm.
It feels like something out somewhere in like a cross between the movie Drive and the new losing my thought Blade Runner, right? Like it
Yeah,
has
it
those.
does have
It
a
has
Blade Runner feel. Yeah.
somewhere between. Like I can hear like the 80s synth over top of this. You know.
Yeah.
And I
It's
believe this
very,
one was released
very
with
cool.
Super Chief Gallery.
Does
Okay.
it have music? Does it have a music?
I don't think
I
it
don't
does.
think so.
Are you
No.
gonna go check out his other examples, because they all kind
Yeah.
of have
Let's take a look.
they have a vibe for sure.
Let's see. Can I even do
It's a
that?
cool one.
Celluloid Dreams.
Ooh.
Yeah, it didn't have any music
Great
in
name.
there. It is a great name, right? Like
That's a great name.
I remember seeing this piece. Oh, I remember this. No,
Oh, cool.
I've seen these pieces all over.
Yeah.
They're gorgeous. Look at that.
Yeah, definitely has a style.
This is the drips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
These all do very much feel like posters to a movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That one.
That yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
sick.
Look at that. Oh, does that work?
Oh,
Full
Yeah.
screen? Okay.
nice.
I think this one's still available. I think he has pieces on Foundation and Super Rare.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it says Foundation. Yep.
Yeah. Real awesome
But
stuff.
very cool. Very cool. All right, let's see. This is something I collected. This is Oya, I want to say, Oya Osen. And it's funny. So this collection, it's a small run collection. It's gorgeous. Pardon, as I knock over my background. Gorgeous photography, and collage. And there was just something enchanting. So this was a blind mint. So I didn't know which one I was going to get, but I had already seen a couple others mint out, and so I was just sort of like all in on the
Yeah.
collection. This is the one that I didn't get, but I saw and was like, well, I'm in on this.
And Nuclear
Of course
Samurai got it.
He did, yeah. It's funny. I was in a group chat with him and Rocket Girl and some other people, and they were getting them, and I was like, oh man. That's sometimes that's all it takes, right? Like I think we collectively in that one chat we minted out the collection because we were just like each one of us was like,
It's a
wait,
small
no,
collection, yeah.
slow
That's
down, I
really
want one.
nice. I like
But
how
they were
they're kind of ghostly.
Yeah.
They really are. Look at this. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that noise.
The noise is just
Yeah.
so
That's
good.
really nice.
But what's really interesting is recently when I did the curation for 5 on Foundation with Rob RD to the Moon, I didn't realize, but I picked her artwork and she had it was a 2D piece that I'm not going to easily be able to get to right now, but it was a 2D piece and it was illustrated and it doesn't look like anything like this, but I was drawn to it, right? Like I didn't look at names first. I went purely on art. And so I just found it fascinating that I was drawn to the same artist in 2 very different styles, but the same artist. So there's something to be said about that, I think. When people question whether or not what they're, if they want to take a chance and do art in different ways and styles and, you can come through in one way or another. Like your voice can still come through. So that was my 3, I think. Bryan, we did your 3. Mumbot, we get your 3?
Yep, we got my 3.
Wow, we did it.
We did that. That happened
was
here
fun.
today.
That was really fun.
We are
There we go.
There it
It's
is.
nice
Yeah, no, I
to see what you guys pick, because it might not be something that I would have ever seen otherwise, you know?
Likewise.
No, the same thing. And that's one of the fun things that we wanted to kind of do with the show is this sort of like show and tell part where, so afterwards, like I said before, we're going to link all those things up. We're going to link up yours. I didn't have the IO drop in there, but I'll add that to the thread because why not? But like the whole purpose of this really is like, you know, things are not crazy right now like they were in 21, right? Like there's, and Bryan, you said it best, and I'll butcher it here, that right now your voice can go a lot further because there's less noise. And so, you know, we have a bit of, you know, a platform, right? We've all been here long enough. And so it was a really good opportunity to be able to help shine a light on people who are newer or up and coming, or just not as well known yet. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to be able to do that fairly regularly, and you know, and deep dive, and not just say, oh, here's a piece I think is cool, you know,
Yeah.
because I don't know, from a collector perspective, when I'm collecting artwork, I love to hear more about the artists and the art. But if I'm listening, like I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the audience that we're trying to reach, and if it's, you know, someone who's curious about getting into some of this art and they want to expand their collection and not just get the pieces that everyone gets, or, you know, some of the bigger collectors, like collectors who can come in here and have you know, some leverage and want to collect art, they can really elevate a lot of people by making their own collections, and that's how any of this stuff started, right? Instead of just jumping on bandwagons, there wasn't anything to jump on. People would, you know, sit there, and so I feel like it's up to people like us to, you know, shine a light on people who we think, you know, it's definitely, and there's so many that are, you know, worth, you know, uplifting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, artists vouching other artists is like the key to this space, because most collectors, you know, there's a few that have a background in art, but most of them are going to be listening for advice on what to collect, and even getting it in front of them, it usually comes from a retweet from another artist they're following. And so we just have to remember, like, you know, all of us succeeded because other people shared us, and we have to keep paying that forward.
Totally. Yes. Agree completely with both of you. Yeah.
So we don't totally have a way to end this show. It's coming to an end here, but like I feel like it would be a nice thing to do to give our guests sort of like the last word. I always like listening to shows, and when they're like, "Oh, you have the last word," to the guest, and like, you know, no pressure, but if there's anything you want to say or plug, obviously, you know, we know about tonight, but like it can't hurt where people can go to find you, your socials, all this stuff. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. Shoot. I don't think I was ready.
You weren't, because I didn't prepare you, and this is
Yeah.
That's
I'm
where
either
we're
gonna
learning.
learn from this, right? And
Yeah.
then next time I'm gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna do that again, because Mumbot like totally hated that.
Oh no, I don't know. I can just, well, I just want to say thank you guys for setting a good example and doing what you're doing. You're doing the work. Like this here, this alone is just it means so much, and it's huge for everyone. It just like that's what it's all about. You know, and I won't keep beating everyone over the head, but we do have a Ghost Club times Infinite Objects drop tonight. I'm really excited about that. We have a big group of super talented artists from around the world participating, and they've worked really hard on these pieces. Yeah, you can follow me at Mumbot on almost everything, at Mumbot World on TikTok, and you can join Ghost Club Discord or follow Ghost Club on Twitter. Also, to find out more information relating to Ghost Club related stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ghost Club rules.
Thank
Ghost Club
you.
is the best.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Well,
You guys rule.
thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. I know I said I'd give you the last word, but before my whatever this is, you know, heating duct kicks in. Just letting you guys know, we're going to try to do these weekly. Next week might not work out, but we will, try to give a heads up, let people know. And we look forward to doing a whole bunch more of these. So
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who tuned in. And these are, if we did the thing right, then you should be able to rewatch this on YouTube. We've got a Twitter account for Art First Show. Just experimenting. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody.